Hi, I'm Michelle.
I'm Shannon.
And then I'm going to just put a picture in of our dog Iris, our Yakutian Laika. She's a Siberian Husky. Yakutian Laika is from the coldest village in the planet. If you don't know us, we left the devastation of Hurricane Helene to live in our van, and right now we are on the top of our van. You can kind of see that we're on the top of the van. Shannon was doing the drone, and I thought, you scared of it, baby? It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. The drone, and I thought, I got inspired, and I said, I haven't really done an update since we had the moose in the camp, and I talked about doing the gourmet coffee. But this morning we had a bunch of cows in camp, and so 79 days on the road in the last 2 weeks, we've seen a lot in Colorado. What do you think?
Yeah, the last 2 weeks. So 2 weeks ago, we were in Ouray in the $1 Million Highway, and we were dispersed camping up on Red Mountain, close to Ironton. And Ouray was super cool.
I'd never been to Ouray. I'd never seen the $1 Million Highway, and if it hadn't been for Hurricane Helene, I think I would have never seen it, because this is the only reason why we're out here.
Yeah.
And you're showing me some of the favorite things that you've seen in Colorado. Beautiful. And then also, go ahead.
Well, I was in Ouray like 30 years ago, driving the Engineer Pass, which is just south of Ouray on the $1 Million Highway. It's a pass that goes over to Lake City and Creed. And so it brought back some memories. But I think the coolest highlights of Ouray were the moose. We had a moose sighting, our first moose sighting of this trip.
Like really close.
Cool.
It was really close to us.
Yeah. And then also there was the canyon, the Black Canyon, I think it's called.
Yeah.
That we, is it Black Canyon?
Of the Gunnison.
No. Well, that was later, yes, but the canyon inside of Ouray. So we hiked up into there, and there's some really cool iron steps that take you down into the canyon and across the canyon and all of that. That was super cool. And then we left Ouray and went on to Telluride.
And Iris got to be on a gondola.
That was her first gondola ride. That's pretty cool. If you don't know, Telluride has a gondola system that's almost like public transportation around the villages, Telluride, and it's free, which is pretty cool. And Telluride was really awesome until it wasn't, and it wasn't because there was a blues festival that we didn't know about. It's a very famous blues festival. It's 4 days, and there was...
To be fair, I warned you, though. I said, it looks like, on what I'm looking on the internet, looks like there might be some kind of festival happening, and we're like, nah, we'll still be fine with resources. Not so much.
Probably over 10,000 people are in this small town of, I don't know, 700 to 900 people. So it's just it was super crowded. We were having trouble finding resources, like getting water and just finding a campsite. We camped up on Last Dollar Road several nights. It was beautiful. We also camped south of Telluride. I can't remember the name of it, but we were up on a pass, close to Ophir Pass, but we were still right off the main highway. That was beautiful, but there were a lot of mosquitoes there.
Yeah.
And so we decided to leave. And
we were really chasing cooler weather for Iris because it was hot. We had to also get our van tuned up, and it was super hot. So we just kind of looked to see where there was cool weather.
We went we got our van tuned in Montrose at Adrenaline Vans. just a new engine map, which added horsepower and torque. We went to Gunnison, and it's been a long time since we had been to Gunnison, about 15 years since we had been to Gunnison. The last time we were there, we were kayaking and we did the Whitewater Park. This time we were at Hartman Rocks. We were dispersed camping and mountain biking. It's very sandy. It's very high. It's high desert terrain. It's pretty cool.
Very, very different terrain. Shannon loved it. I put a big gash in my right thigh, which I still have and am nursing.
It's difficult riding. If you've ever ridden in sand, steep sand and steep rock covered in sand, it's very difficult because it's very difficult to brake on that, to slow yourself down without skidding out and falling.
But last time we were there, last time we were in Gunnison, we weren't only whitewater kayaking, we also had our dual sport motorcycles.
Right.
And
we rode around Crested Butte.
Yeah, so we went to Crested Butte. We visited Crested Butte again.
Yep. We saw the Black Canyon of the Gunnison, which is now a national park, and that was super cool. I don't think it was a national park when we were here in 2010. I don't remember, but I don't think it was. Anyway, that's really beautiful. It's an amazing gash in the earth. It was over 1,000 feet deep, I think, and at the narrowest part, it's 40 feet wide, which is incredible. It's dark down there sometimes. I do remember when we were here in 2010, we were kayaking, but was not kayaking the Gunnison River in the canyon, but there is a run there, and we talked to some kayakers who do that. There's a lot of poison ivy down there too, which is one thing that deters me. It's unavoidable in that canyon. Anyway, there was that. What else did we do? Oh, we dispersed camp around Crested Butte. Crested Butte was very crowded as well.
It was another festival. This one was for families and a bike park. So we again came into a city that was full of festival goers, and so it was just crawling with, and then in fact we went to the bike park one day and they shut it down because there were so many kids that had accidents on some of the more advanced trails.
And we just left, and they were kind enough to give us a refund for that day so that we could come back
during the week,
different day when it was less busy, and we did, and it was nice. I would just say nice.
I've
like
never been to that bike park.
Awesome.
I mean, look, there's lots of different bike parks. We're not a huge fan of the Crested Butte bike park because of its sandy, it's really dusty, and it was beautiful wildflowers. There's a lot to say about Crested Butte. Not the friendliest people that I've met in the world.
I don't know,
it depends on who you meet, I guess.
Yeah, it does. I mean, okay, most everyone is super friendly, but somehow the town itself just doesn't give off a friendly vibe.
Yeah, it's like hey, we're here, go away.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know
why. I don't know why.
I've never felt welcome in Crested Butte.
I love Crested Butte. I love the momos. I love the wildflowers. I love being in Crested Butte. It's a very, very hip, creative town. It's just that as soon as I get to Crested Butte, I feel like we need to leave.
So we did decide to leave right before July 4th. This is getting still crowded, not really getting crowded, maybe getting more crowded. And we were finding it's just really difficult to get around, and it's really difficult to save a campsite. And so we decided we would leave via Kepler Pass, which was beautiful. The further away from Crested Butte we got, the less crowded it was, the easier it was to find campsites. And we came to Grand Mesa and Powderhorn Bike Park, and
which is where we are now.
Really expecting this is 4th of July weekend still. 4th of July was Friday, today's Sunday morning. And I was really expecting it to be super crowded here as well and difficult to find campsites. But it's right the opposite. I mean, it feels like there's hardly anyone here. The bike park, there were people there, but it didn't feel crowded at all. We never stood in line for more than 5 minutes.
And the bike park itself, the terrain, while it does have dust and sand, it has more rock, which is probably more what we're used to in Western North Carolina because of Pisgah and DuPont and Bent Creek and whatnot. So it felt more like the type of mountain biking that we prefer.
But it's the type of terrain I like. I like technical, and I don't mind steep. I like it narrow. I don't like big machine-built jumps and things like that. And Crested Butte is a big fan of that. There's a lot of jump trails. It's just not.
I'd say that so far from what we've done, because we're doing the Gravity Park, kind of touring that, but also doing some wild mountain biking too. But Angel Fire was great. Crested Butte, I would do over Angel Fire for sure.
Yeah, me too.
Probably would not do over Crested Butte. I probably would not invest any more money in that bike park. Would you agree, or would you do it again?
Yeah, I think I'd agree. I mean, I would come to Powderhorn before I'd go back to Crested Butte.
Yeah.
And it's not that far away. It's probably an hour and a half drive over Kevlar Pass.
I prefer the Powderhorn, but if you're somebody who loves a lot of people and is like you're looking for a family atmosphere, I think that Crested Butte is the perfect place. I think it depends on what you're looking for.
It's way more family friendly.
Yeah, so for kids and things like so, if you have kids, younger kids of any age, whether they're 6 or whether they're 16, I think Crested Butte is probably the better scene.
Yep.
Little
Definitely.
Easier trails as well to do. And lots I will say that if you do go to Crested Butte, we really enjoyed the elevated spa. It was like $35 day pass or $70 for a week pass, and you could just pamper yourself and do some hot tubs.
Yeah,
and
that's nice.
Showers and stuff. So we really enjoyed that. But now we are here.
Also to Crested Butte, kudos to Crested Butte and Gunnison for having public water fill stations for RVs.
That's true.
It's really nice. Both charged about $5 per fill, which is wonderful.
That was friendly.
More towns did that.
That was friendly.
Yeah,
that was more friendly. Pagosa Springs didn't have any water for us, even though it was full of springs.
Okay, Pagosa Springs might have been the most unfriendly town.
With the dogs. We couldn't put the dog anywhere.
Yeah, not dog friendly at all.
It was weird.
Not easy.
They did have the dog park.
For RVs.
Pagosa Springs had a really nice, it had a park that was full of chips.
Yeah.
But still, and we met a really lovely couple in Pagosa Springs. But in general, he tried to, when I was working in the library.
I just wanted a burger and a beer and sit on the deck with Iris, and that's not happening in Pagosa Springs.
You went to 6 places.
Nowhere that I could find would that be allowed.
No, and we weren't allowed to really.
Even at the brewery. Breweries are famous for being dog friendly and family friendly.
But we did like the Pagosa Springs when we spent our day there. Okay, so what's next? So we're headed to Grand Junction for another warranty issue on the van. We've got lots to say about our van, what works and what doesn't work. That'll be another video. And it's going to probably be 90 to 100 degrees. So we're getting a hotel room to beat the heat and so that we can also work.
No, we just don't want to do the heat. Well, we have an air conditioner on the van, but we really need to be plugged in to use it. On the battery, it will only last 2 to 3 hours before we deplete the battery. So we can't really. That's not practical. The forecast for Monday is a high of 99, I think.
Iris is going to hate that.
So
yeah.
The idea is to get in and get out as quickly as possible, but to be comfortable in the meantime with some AC and some Wi-Fi where we can work and Iris can relax. And then we're going to head back into the mountains. I think I was looking along the I-70 corridor at the weather, and the first town that has tolerable weather east of Grand Junction, which is where we're headed east to Granby, is Vail. So we'll land somewhere Vail or east of Vail.
Where do you all think we should go? So, you know, this is our living scrapbook. This is something that we're just doing for fun. We both have full-time jobs still. We go to co-working spaces. So unlike some other YouTube influencers, we don't have a whole lot of extra time to put the videos together. So thanks for your grace, and just, you know, we want to share our journey with you. I want to keep a record of what we're doing. I do short daily updates on Patreon, which is my patreon.com/Michelle Tennant, or therebelrebel.com. There we also have different opportunities for different tiers where you can have something for free and just get the daily updates for free, or if you want some type of coaching, then we've got some coaching too. I will say that just in all, you know, it's been highs and lows. Like, it's not always wonderful, you know what I mean? Because sometimes we don't find a spot, sometimes we fight, sometimes we, you know, the day sucks. We meet like a nasty person in Crested Butte, or we can't find a place for our dog in Pagosa Springs, and other times it's really great. We get easy water in the same place like Crested Butte, right. Or we are surprised by yesterday, this particular spot with all the cows. We almost gave up, but we're like, you know, what else are we doing? We're just driving around, seeing a beautiful place, and I was learning how to drive the van because he's doing most of the driving. So we just kind of stuck with it, and we drove, and we just really, it's just an idyllic little place that's sort of like, you know, Hansel and Gretel land. And the dog has been, I'm not sure where she is right now. She's probably over there. Do you see her?
She's probably under the van.
She's probably under the van. But anyway, so this is really raw and, you know, mostly unedited. I'm going to put some highlights in for you. But if you want our daily stuff, it's over at therebelrebel.com. Family and friends really are tuning into this, but if you really want to join us, we're going to be doing this for the long haul. 79 days. We're not quitting yet. We feel like quitting sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes it's not easy. What do you want to say about the whole 79 days so far?
I think that it's easier when we have weekends like we've had here in Grand Mesa and Powderhorn. Like, this is not challenging at all. It's been fantastic, but other times it's really trying.
Yeah, it's really, especially if, and then coupled with really hot weather, or you know, complexities of just being a human, right? So at the end of the day, though, it's not an adventure. You can't appreciate the highs without the lows. So we're going to take both of them from right now. We're going to keep reporting on them. And if you think we should go someplace, because we're headed to Canada. Why? Because our Yakutian Laika, our Siberian Husky, she's that special type of breed that comes from the coldest village on the planet called Yakut, Y-A-K-U-T. And it's a really fascinating place. You should look it up. And so, like any parents with their child, we've got to make sure that her needs are taken care of first, right? So we want to make sure that she's nice and cool. And like today is super chilly, even though it's summertime, and she is super happy. So, yeah. Baby happy, we're happy. Bye, y'all. We're in downtown Telluride, and there's this little trail, this little beach down there. Looks like the Bluegrass Festival is right down the street a bit. Look at this beautiful scenery.